I tell you what we'll do as an extra. Let's quickly have a look through the other Smugs, shall we? And see what we could have won. Okay, we could have had Marshall. Marshall's pretty good. Yep. Beardo, he's the one I don't want. Cephalobot is a Smug. Didn't know that. Cephalobot's alright. Chatter, who's a mouse. Don't want Chatter. Chops, who is a pig. Look at Chops. Colton, who is a horse. Curious, who is a sheep. Ed, who is a horse. Eugene, who is a pretty cool looking koala. Graham, who's the hamster with the tiny eyes. Hans, who is a gorilla. Henry, who is a frog. Hippo, who's a hippo, surprisingly. Huck, who I used to have, who's pretty great actually. I don't mind that. Jacques, who is a bird. Julian's all right. Would have taken Julian. Keaton, who is a eagle. Julian is a horse, by the way. Ken, who is a chicken. Chicken, get it? Kid, who is a goat, who's all right. Klaus, who is a bear. Kyle, I said about Kyle. Kyle is a wolf, who's all right. Know him. Leopold, who's a lion, we discussed briefly. Lionel, who we're getting, who is a lion. Whose birthday is July 29th, for those marking time. Lopez, who is a deer. Lucha, who's like a wrestling bird. O'Hare, who is a rabbit. He's the one that wears a little hat. Olaf, who is an anteater. Phil, who's an ostrich. Pietro, who is a sheep. Quilston, who is the kind of like nerdcore duck. Raymond, who everyone knows. Rodney, who is a hamster, who looks just a hell of a thing. Roswell, who's an alligator. I wouldn't have minded Roswell. He's pretty cool looking. Shep, who is a dog with he's got his eyes covered. Tex, who is a penguin, who looks kind of jockish. Toby, who is a rabbit, who looks some sort of fab barbershop quartet thing. W-Link? Don't know W-Link at all. The picture here is from like the GameCube though, so maybe not in it anymore. Don't know W-Link. Who's a wolf. And Zell, who's a deer, who I briefly had on an island before. Interesting. Okay, so those would have been our overall possibilities. I think we did all right. Wouldn't have minded Cephalobot back. Wouldn't have minded Julian. Wouldn't have minded Ed. I mean, there's a lot of these I don't know. Jacques and Huck. Jacques and Huck, I wouldn't have minded. Kyle, I wouldn't have minded. Marshall probably would have been all right. Raymond, Roswell, those are both cool. Yeah, I think we did all right. But there's no one I'm desperate for off that list.